Aho, my name is Garan Coons. My Lakota name is Agichita Gia Hokshila, which means flying soldier boy. I come from the Lakota nations as well as the Navajo nations. Today, we're going to present some of our dancing, some of our singing, some of our storytelling. I am joined with my mother, Teresa St. Cyr, who's going to be dancing today, and my daughter, Kamimila Coons. We appreciate everybody giving us the opportunity to show some of our Native American culture to you folks. Right now, we'd like to open up with an opening song known as the Welcome Song. This one greets the day and greets good friendship to everybody in attendance. All right, folks. So we're going to get right into it. This style of dance that I'm going to present to you is done by my mother, Teresa. I want to make a side note here, folks, is that all the regalia that you see here today is done by this young gal. She has the honor and privilege of calling me son, and I have the honor and privilege of calling her my mother. She does a lot of our beadwork, and if you notice on our regalia, we have very intricate designs. All these designs come through her in a very creative manner. And none of them are formal. They usually come to her in the style of dreams. The style of dance that she'll be dancing here today is known as the Women's Jingle Dress Dance. The Women's Jingle Dress Dance is known throughout Native country as a healing dance. They say that this dress that she wears has healing power. At this time, I'd like to invite her to come on to screen here. If you notice, while she's walking, that the dress that she's wearing makes a noise. On her dress, there's silver cones. Those are actually the tops of tobacco lids. You see, to us, in our culture, tobacco is very sacred. We use tobacco to render our prayers. A lot of times we believe that when we smoke the tobacco, the smoke will go up to the Creator, thus delivering our prayers. You notice in her right hand, she has an eagle fan, an eagle tail that was passed down. A lot of times in order for us to wear eagle feathers, a veteran has to bless us and tell a story. When she's dancing, she'll hold her hand on her hip, and that is to symbolize the pain of the sick. And if you notice, while she's dancing, that their feet will be in a zigzagging motion. And that is to symbolizing the zigzagging of life. At times in life, we have our ups, and at times we have our downs. And to us, a lot of times when we dance in the circle. Because in the circle, there's no beginning and there's no end. And in the circle, everything is equal. You'll notice that when she's dancing, she'll be praying to the Creator that everything will be good for those, maybe those that are sick. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you this first style of dance known as the Women's Jingle Dress. let's give her a big virtual round of applause to my mother, Teresa, there. And as you know, a lot of times they can't believe that she's looking very young. And we walk in two different worlds, our traditional world as well as our modern day world. And my mother, she is a retired lab technician, and she was the director up there at the Indian Health Service Director. So ladies and gentlemen, Teresa Saint's here. Jingle dress dance. We wanted to share some of our music, and one of the things that we do is we're here to teach. Not only that, but there's stories that we tell. And in my hand, I have what is called the Native American wood flute. Now this instrument was given to us by a very special winged relative, the woodpecker. You see, on the wood flute, there's 7 holes. The 4 holes represent the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. The 5th hole represents Father Sky. The 6th hole represents Mother Earth. And the 7th hole is the most important. It represents your chante, or what is known as your heart. All of us have a heartbeat, and it guides us to make the right decisions and go through life. Love is very important. A long time ago, the young warriors used to use this as a way of courtship. And in fact, they use it to ask the hand in marriage. Traditionally, in modern times, the young relative or the young gentleman will get a ring with a rock on it, get on one knee and ask the young lady for the hand in marriage. Well, I'm going to tell you folks a story. The young relative would get his flute. He would make a song specifically for the one that he had his eye on, that he wanted to marry. He would grab her one day and take her down to a very special spot, maybe down by the riverbank. And he would pour out his heart and soul into a song that he would play for her. Now the trick is that there is no words spoken. Now I'm going to help you out, ladies. While the young relative had playing his flute, pouring his heart out into this song, he had to close his eyes. Now, during that song, maybe you didn't like him, maybe you had your eye on somebody else. While he had his eyes closed during that love song, you could get up and leave and not say a word. That was your right. That was your right. But at the end of the song, if he opened his eyes and you were still there, that was a way of saying, yes, yes, I'll marry you. Unfortunately for me, going on 10 years ago, I played my wood flute. I opened my eyes, and I was hoping she would run, but she was still there. So I played my flute song 10 years ago, and still, we just had an addition to the family. But I'm going to give a demonstration of what it sounds like, and as you can tell, it's very beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Native American wood flute. Thank you. And now I have as you go through life, there's a lot of things that you think about. And one of the very special things that is dear to my heart is that we continue to pass down our traditions. We continue to keep dancing, and we continue to keep singing. And my mother had the hope and ambition for myself to continue to dance. And now I am joined by my daughter. My daughter, her name is Kamimila Coons. Kamimila in the Lakota language means butterfly. She dances the style of the fancy shawl. It's a woman's style of dance. There's a story behind it. You notice when she will be dancing here momentarily that it seems to mimic that of the butterfly. Now folks, I want you to think about the butterfly. They say that butterfly won't make a sound. And you can tell the butterfly a secret, keep it dear to its heart, because it doesn't make a sound. But the Creator gave us that beautiful insect with that story. It starts out as a caterpillar, cocoons itself, and then emerges with wings, the transformation of life. My daughter is turning 14 here in August, and that is very special to me. She's going to be joining the high school ranks, and I know that she really loves to dance, and we appreciate her. And every time I see her dance, it brings a pride and joy to myself. Kamimila, come on over here. Kamimila is of the Lakota as well as of the Winnebago Nations. She's also very active in volleyball and basketball, and she does a lot of extracurricular activities. So the style of dance, you notice that she has a shawl draped over her shoulders, and they say that this is kind of a young woman's dance, that they'll dance to a faster paced style of dance. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the girls' fancy shawl dance. Let's give a virtual round of applause to Kamimila Coons, my daughter. It's been a pleasure. She's getting better every time. A lot of times when we go out and perform, we try to start them out very young as tiny tots and then work their way up to champion dancers. The next style that I want to present is the style that I do, known as the men's fancy feather dance. Long time ago, this dance here was of the Buffalo Bill Wild West shows. You see, the scouts went out and they were recruiting dancers, and they said, dance faster, dance to a faster beat. And our men's traditional dancers used to have one bustle, They said, why don't you put a bustle on your back and use more vibrant colors? And so we did. And now, as you go through generations, the speed of this dance has, the tempo has gone up tremendously, and to what it is today. This dance is still evolving. They say it's a young man's dance, so I think I'm going to retire here in the next 5 years. No, I'm just teasing. But the men's fancy dance, you notice on the back here, those are eagle feathers adorned with horsehair. On top of my head, like Teresa and my daughter Kamimila, they also have eagle feathers, but theirs are plumes. Mine are of the eagle tail, and they're on what is called a rocker. What I wear for my headdress is known as a roach. It is adorned with deer tail as well as porcupine hair. It takes a lot of concentration. Also, the regalia is quite hefty, and so I'll give you my best attempt on doing the men's fancy dance. It's been my pleasure to present for you folks. After I do my dance, I'll be a little out of breath, so I have my mother Teresa talk to you good folks here. So with that, without further ado, I present to you the men's fancy feather dance.
Well, how did you like that? Could you imagine 30 or 40 of them dancing all at the same time? That's a spectacular sight to see. I wanted to say that I was raised by my grandmother, and she always told me, wherever you go, try to change somebody's life for the better. And I hope we did that today. We gave you a little taste of what our Native American culture is like, our dancing, our singing, our chording instrument. So I hope we didn't probably change your life, but we gave you a little insight on some of our culture. I want to thank the Nebraska Arts Council for having us. And with that, I'd like to call up Mimi and Garan, and we'd like to say thank you for having us. And we'll see you again, whether it's in this life or the next.